Hey guys, another thing about those pressed M30 fentanyl pills. You guys are probably wondering why the withdrawal lasts longer than usual, or you're getting symptoms that you've never had from heroin withdrawal, or this, that, and the third. I gotta tell you guys something, to be honest. Like I said in my previous video, the reason why you're probably having a hard time withdrawing from the light sky blue pressed M30s, the Mexican oxys, the reason why it's so tough is because you are not withdrawing just from fentanyl, man. I'm sorry to say it, but you're withdrawing from probably like two or three other drugs. Like I said, it was found there's buprenorphine in those pills, and fentanyl, and some like minor doses of oxycodone and PCP. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. I mean, they do what they have to do, but you all notice that you always want them immediately after you're finished. More like, oh, I can wait an hour or two. Like, no, you need it like the next second. You start planning like many, many minutes or hours before you run out of your pill or pills or whatever. Um, but that's what it does. You know what I mean? It makes your head go 10 different ways instead of five. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're withdrawing, I mean, look up the symptoms of withdrawal from each of those meds I mentioned. You know what I mean? So you'll notice that a lot of those symptoms come from other drugs, and there are other drugs in there. I'm not gonna front with you. I've tasted coke in them before. I just to give you that quick burst of euphoria to match an opiate euphoria. You know, like an instant when people shoot it or snort it, they're like, oh, quick. No, it's mixed with other crap, and that's why you guys are having such a hard time. So my advice, like when I got off of it, like when I said I took regular oxycodone to stabilize my brain afterwards, so I didn't go through opiate withdrawal while withdrawing maybe from the other substances, and it stabilized my brain. Like I said, I didn't even, it was weird. I remember it was like an hour or maybe less after I took a regular oxycodone while coming off the fentanyl, my brain already felt better. The weird thing is when I would put more fentanyl in me, my brain would feel better, but I'd start to feel worse quick. Like, it was so strange because like I said, I don't think it was just fentanyl. I don't think that. And for the people that are saying precipitated withdrawal, you got to wait 72 hours, this, that, if you take fentanyl, however way, that is not, at least in my experience and many others, that is not true. If you snort it, it's an instant. If you patch it, it dissolves into your skin. You know, the lozenge, same thing. Like, the way it dissolves, it goes into your fat cells. When you're snorting it, it goes through your mucous membranes. It passes through your blood-brain barrier, and it's immediately an immediate dose. It's not immediate as people think. It still needs to pass through certain parts of you in order to get to the brain. But the withdrawal I noticed from snorting is also different than swallowing, because when you swallow, you're allowing the pill to slowly make its way through your liver, your kidneys, and you guys know the rest. And when the withdrawal comes, those organs start to hurt more, and that's when a lot of that full body pain. Now, what I notice is after you snort and you come off, and this is off of any opiate, really there is withdrawal, obviously. Like, you will sweat and stuff, but a lot of that's due to anxiety from the head. A lot of it's because you went straight to your dome with it. You know what I mean? The vein goes, when you shoot through your vein, it goes all through your body. But these people withdraw within like 6 hours. Remember that. So when you take a Suboxone or a Subutex and you're worried about precipitated withdrawal, as long as you have, in my case, it was back pain, runny nose, uh, the sweating and stuff. Like, when you start feeling like that, like complete crap, and you're like panicking, especially when the panic lets in, usually that comes before, but and when you start to like have no control of your anxiety, even in a decent mindset, you're in withdrawal, you're good. But take micro dose, like everybody says with the Bernice method and shit. Even before I've ever heard of the Bernice method, I did it naturally by myself because I was afraid of the precipitated withdrawal, and I would take that because, like, I would break a pill in like 8 pieces, as hard as it is to do, even with the dust. Put it under your tongue, everything under your tongue. You don't want to miss it. But if you microdose it, you might feel a little quick precipitation, maybe for like 3 seconds, and it's gone. Like, you're gonna feel that precipitation no matter what when you take subs. It's just always like you still feel a little crappier, and then you feel better. But when I microdosed it, I really didn't feel like crap. And then eventually, I remember I was in the middle of microdosing my buprenorphine, and I took. Oh, this was in the past. I slipped and took a depressed pill. Took a little bit, and excuse me, I guess. And oh shit, I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, I take the pressed pill, and like I said, man, I just feel worse. I just felt guilty. It was like, it causes major depression, like a depression worse than heroin, like, especially when you're, coming off multiple different drugs at the same time and you didn't even realize it. You don't know what's going on with your brain. So what I did was, like I said, I took the oxycodone coming off of the fentanyl, stabilized my brain chemistry. By day 3 of the oxycodone, I knew my fentanyl was already gone out of me. It was gone. You know what I mean? It wasn't in me as much anymore. I knew it. And when I stopped the oxycodone, it was like maybe like a slight withdrawal, but to the point where like my hands were only minorly sweaty, and that's it. And then I waited like another 24 hours just to be safe. And I honestly, kratom too will level you out. Like if you guys are waiting for withdrawal, and I know you guys hate doing that, you hate the wait. The only and best thing you can do, in my opinion, and people are going to tell you, oh, kratom didn't work for me. Kratom didn't. Well, motherfucker, if it worked for me and like 10 million other people, you're doing it wrong. You need to take kratom in cold water because that's the way it's extracted. It works best cold water, empty stomach, raw powder, back, kick it, boom. You will feel amazing and great. Your withdrawals will be gone. It lasts like 6 hours, whatever, 7, 8, don't matter. It depends on your body and your metabolism. The kratom will help you at least get through those times. You won't crave the opiates. You might not even feel the withdrawal to begin. But once you feel that withdrawal starting to come back, just know that it's not because you took another opiate and it's coming back. You were on kratom, which means your withdrawal was there the whole time. It's just now starting to show itself again. So you will be safe to take your buprenorphine. Simple shit. I'm sorry, guys. Just take the kratom. You wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You took your last dose last night. You wake up in the morning. You don't feel too crappy. That's when you start your search. Take the kratom, whether it's the pills, the shot, whatever. Cold water, except for the shot. Me, I take the shot and then drink, a bottle of water after. Let it float around in my stomach. And then in 15 minutes, the shit kicks in. It'll hold you over until that time of the withdrawal. Once the withdrawal comes, like I said, you don't have to wait another 24 hours because kratom is not an opiate or an opioid or an antagonist, an agonist, nothing. It's a coffee plant, and it hovers over your receptors, tricking your brain into thinking it's on an opiate, but it's not. So there you go. There's your key. Do that. There's nothing to fucking lose. You've been sick before. Man up, woman up, and do it. And then you can take your subs. And then you'll be pain free. And then there'll be no anxiety on the weight because the kratom takes away the anxiety too. Me, 2 tablespoons of green mangda. That's it. Or red. Whatever the fuck it matters. It doesn't matter. Doesn't red works better for withdrawals? No, motherfucker. All of it works better for withdrawals. The green did it for me. The white, the red, everything did it for me. So do that. Wait. Then you can take your sub. And you will be okay. And you won't be scared about precipitated withdrawal and all that bullshit. If you're patching it, the fentanyl, wait 72 hours. If you're snorting a fentanyl, honestly, you'll be withdrawing within 8 hours or so. Or maybe like 12 hours. And you'll be fine. You know what I mean? But with the kratom, it allows you to pass that time. And you won't even be... In fact, you'll be fucking so lit off the kratom, you'll probably be happy enough to run around and go to work. But then, that's when you guys can take your subs and finish the fucking job. You won't feel pain again. And with the kratom, it stabilizes your brain chemistry, just like the oxycodone did for me. I'm not recommending that to anybody, but I'm telling you right now, it just worked for me because a lot of users are going to get their hands on whatever the fuck they want. And if that's the safest route you want to take, I can't tell you what to do, but it worked for me. Anyway, you guys have any questions? Comment below. Have a good one, guys.